My husband and I just had our 50th wedding anniversary. The house was full of laughter. Our children, our grandchildren. They made toasts to our long life together, to our love story. A golden love story, they said. Everyone called it a milestone. But I'm about to tell you something that nobody at that party knows. The truth is, it was a finish line. The performance is over now. I'm 82 years old, and for 5 decades, I have been pretending to love a man I knew from the very beginning I should not have married. The party was lovely, it truly was. But through it all, I felt like I was watching a movie of my own life. I smiled for the pictures. I held his hand to cut the cake. A beautiful cake. But it felt more like a monument to a long and quiet lie. I laughed when I was supposed to laugh. I even felt a tear in my eye when our daughter read a poem about our devotion. Inside, though, I was quiet. It's a quiet I've known for 50 years. A deep, echoing silence that no amount of party music can fill. As our guests left, they would hug me and ask the same question. Always the same question. 50 years? What's your secret? And I'd give them the smile I've practiced for a lifetime. And I'd say something about compromise. But the real secret, the one I've held in my chest like a stone, is this. You forget who you are. Or you pretend to. You pack away the person you were meant to be, piece by piece, year after year until the box is so dusty you can't remember what's inside. Now they're all gone. He's asleep. And I am sitting here alone. And I am finally allowing myself to open that box. To understand it, you have to understand the choice I made. I was 32, and I was standing between 2 lives. I met him when I was in my 20s, but I didn't marry him then. He was not the great love of my life. That was a boy named Daniel. Daniel was like a fire. He wanted to be a photographer, to see the whole world. He was chaotic and passionate, and with him my own spirit felt like it could be chaotic and passionate too. But my parents, they saw him as a risk. A beautiful, thrilling, but unstable risk. Then came John, my husband. He was the opposite of a risk. He was stability. He had a good job, a 5-year plan, and a kindness that was gentle and predictable. Everyone approved of him, and he was a good man. He was a good provider. But he looked at the wildness in me as something to be tamed, not something to be cherished. I remember the moment I chose. I saw one life as a winding road, full of bright colors but maybe some real heartache. The other was a straight, paved road. It was safe, and I was afraid. I let the fear of the unknown push me onto that safe road. I chose John. I told myself it was the sensible thing to do. I married him because everyone said it was time. And on my wedding day, as I walked down that aisle, I felt the first quiet click of a lock turning inside of me. The first decade, I called it compromise. It wasn't. It was a series of quiet surrenders. We moved for his career and I left behind friendships. Each move felt like another brick in the wall I was building around myself. I used to paint, but my canvases gathered dust in the attic. He didn't understand the mess of color and feeling. It wasn't practical. Then the children came, and for 20 years they were a wonderful, welcome distraction. They filled the house with noise and purpose. We were a team then. We were parents, but we were not partners. The deep talks had already faded away, lost between homework and doctor's visits. The silence between us was growing, but it was muffled by the beautiful noise of our family. I'll never forget the day we dropped our youngest off at college. We got back in the car to go home, and we drove for 4 hours, in complete silence. The buffer was gone. And in its place was just this vast, empty space. We had raised a family and in doing it, had become polite strangers. The last 20 years have been the hardest. The silence became a permanent thing in our home. His world got smaller, his armchair, the television. My world became my garden, my books, and the quiet thoughts of what might have been. It wasn't a life of loud fights or big betrayals. It was a life of quiet neglect, a slow, steady wearing away of the soul. And so I sit here tonight, at 82, with all the proof of a good life, a beautiful home, healthy children, grandchildren I adore. By all the ways the world measures a life, I am a success. But I am grieving. I am grieving the woman I never let myself become. I can see her so clearly. She has paint on her hands. She learned another language. Her laugh is loud. She took the risk. She chose the winding path. She lived. I've read that one of the deepest regrets people have in old age is staying too long in the wrong life. I didn't just stay. I built a fortress around it and called it home. I am not bitter at him. He is a good man. He has been exactly the man he promised to be. The fault is not his. It's mine. For not being brave enough to listen to my own heart. For choosing the quiet approval of others over the needs of my own soul. So what now? The time for starting over, that ship has sailed for me. But there is a strange freedom in this. The performance is over. I don't have to pretend anymore, not even to myself. This honesty, it's a final, painful, but cleansing truth. And this is the lesson. For you who might be younger, who might be standing at your own crossroads between a safe harbor and an open sea. Listen. Listen to that voice inside of you. Do not choose the person who quiets your spirit, even if they offer you a safe world. Do not mistake stability for happiness. The cost of marrying the wrong person is a quiet misery that grows over a lifetime. Don't be so afraid of making a mistake that you choose a life that is one long, quiet mistake. Don't wait 50 years to be honest with yourself. Time is the only thing you can never get back. If my story means something to you, if it reminds you of a quiet part of your own heart, I hope you'll share your thoughts. We are all just stories, and maybe we can learn from each other. My party is over. The house is silent, and for the first time, it feels like the silence is mine. It is the presence of truth. It's too late for me to live another life, but it's not too late to own the one I have lived, to understand it, and to finally, after all this time, stop pretending, be brave, be honest, be you.